This video is sponsored by Squarespace, where you can build and run your website. We're 2 trailers in, and no mention of any Lannister family members during the era of the House of the Dragon prequel.
Rickon Stark.
I, Corlys Velaryon. I, Ormond Baratheon.
Even a very irrelevant Lord Stark got a quick shout out by the Targaryen King Viserys. Unlike the Starks that I've talked about a couple weeks ago, the Lannisters of this time period actually had a role to play during the Civil War. Saying Stark in a trailer just sounded cooler, I guess. When I say they played a role, obviously not at the scale of the Targaryens and Hightowers, but just a notch lower. We already saw the Lannisters play the major part coming at House Stark's throat. This won't be the same kind of show. Like last time around, no spoilers here. I won't do you dirty like how I was done. My dumbass researched a little too hard with the casting info. If you want the official final list, trust me, only look at the HBO site. Forgot how dangerous IMDb can be with how they show the screen time as well. The only background info going into the show you need to know is the Lannisters' standings with the ruling Targaryens. 2 names you'll hear throughout the series will be Jason Lannister and his twin brother, Tywin Lannister. As rich and powerful as the Lannisters have always been, the Targaryens never really let them get too close. Nothing personal here, that's just how the Targaryens are, sticking to their own. King Viserys was married to a lady of House Arryn, a character named Aemma. But she was half Targaryen and a first cousin. This was his first marriage. He later marries a Hightower girl. The Lannisters would make their attempts to get in with the family though. Aemma's mother was Princess Daella Targaryen. The man who I think was the Lannister twins' father, Lord Tywin, actually almost had his chance with that princess and elevate House Lannister even higher on the totem pole. But even Tywin's renowned good looks, think Jaime before he became known as a Kingslayer, Tywin was too much of a womanizer and alcoholic for the princess's taste. She chose the kinder Lord Arryn. A lot of fun family ties in all this lore. Let me quickly thank the channel's great sponsor, Squarespace. Check out squarespace.com/whycreate if you're looking for the easiest place to build your website. They do it all. You can register your domain through Squarespace, or if you already purchased one elsewhere, you can connect it to your website that you can quickly build through Squarespace's templates. They even got a logo maker so you can be official when starting up your online business. If you're dealing with personal projects or some e-commerce, their tools and extensions will make your life a lot easier. These tools will help you manage your stock levels, fulfillment, and returns. Start your free trial if you feel like planning ahead. Then when you're ready to launch your website, go to squarespace.com/whycreate to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. The first defeat the Lannisters were handed by the Targaryens during their original conquest of the Seven Kingdoms, 300 years before the start of the main series, wasn't all that humiliating. For the first time, Aegon and his 2 sister wives rode into battle together atop their dragons to deal with the resisting Westerlanders, who were ruled by a Lannister king, and the Reach, ruled by a Gardener king. The combined allied forces of the Lannisters and Gardeners were 5 times the size of the Targaryens' new army. But going into open field battle against flying nukes is a death wish. It was called the Field of Fire for how bad they got dragon roasted. The Gardeners went extinct in all the fire, making way for House Tyrell to move up the ladder, and the Lannister king made his escape before the flames reached his golden locks. The Lannisters weren't going to keep resisting after what they witnessed firsthand in the Field of Fire. A Game of Thrones episode was literally named and inspired after this event, that big spectacle in the 7th season with Dany and Jaime. The Lannisters still had all their gold mines after finally bending the knee to Aegon. Only thing that was lost was the royal status, now demoted to lords. Gold is what they're known for. Being the rich family is their main character trait. But during the era of House of the Dragon, they were no longer the rich guys around. The Targaryens had dragons, not much gold aside from taxes and tariffs. It was one of the Targaryens' only allies, House Velaryon, that was blowing up in wealth and power. The lord at this time, Corlys Velaryon, aka the Sea Snake, was sailing to places no man from Westeros had the courage to venture, and each trip meant boats filled with exotic goods. He overtook the Lannisters, becoming the richest man in the 7 Kingdoms. In turn, the Velaryons took the Lannisters' identity from them. There wasn't much Lord Tywin could do about the Sea Snake's newly found riches. The Targaryen king before Viserys, his grandfather the old King Jaehaerys, inadvertently gave the Lannisters a chance, however. The old king called the Great Council when succession was getting muddled. He wanted his realm's lords to decide who would succeed him in a vote so transition could happen smoothly. 2 candidates were leading the pack, and the less popular descendant was a Velaryon. Laenor Velaryon had a good claim for the throne, but only his mother was a Targaryen, his father was a Sea Snake. All the Sea Snake's bribes couldn't get enough lords to vote for the female line over the male, so Viserys was chosen as the old king's heir. Lord Tywin doing his part in voting for Viserys over Laenor. He didn't want to see the Velaryons getting even more powerful. Viserys kept note on who voted for him. When he was eventually crowned king, he would repay his supporters. Viserys married his cousin Aemma Arryn and had one daughter together, before his queen would die of childbirth complications. King Viserys made sure to keep his daughter Rhaenyra as his heir, even after remarrying and having sons. This is the conflict that's going to be explored in House of the Dragon. Before things got ugly, signs of a big storm were forming. Viserys' power-hungry father-in-law and hand of the king, Otto Hightower, was filling court with allies that opposed the decision to have Rhaenyra decreed heir. Lord Tywin would be dead by the start of House of the Dragon. Tywin's successor, Lord Jason Lannister, who may or may not be his son, not really clear as of yet in the lore books, would hang back at Casterly Rock ruling over the Westerlands. It would be Jason's younger twin brother Tyland that would be called to court. If Princess Rhaenyra's biggest supporters were the Velaryons, House Hightower would need the Lannisters. Otto Hightower saw the tension between the Lannisters and Velaryons, so made a move, joining a common cause. All he did was convince the king to name Tyland as his small council's master of ships. It was easy for the king to agree, because now he could repay the Lannisters for voting for him. The role of master of ships is almost hereditarily passed down to the line of Velaryons. With the Sea Snake so busy being an adventuring superstar, the Lannister quietly took his spot. Requesting a lord as powerful as Jason to leave his comfortable life for court in King's Landing is asking a lot. The safe bet would be asking his twin brother, who wouldn't have much else going on. It would be seen as a bigger honor for the family. Funny enough, Jason previously made his move on Princess Rhaenyra during her visit to his castle, a prize every powerful bachelor had his eye on, her being the heir to the Iron Throne. She would turn him down. Even Jason's twin brother Tyland would try his hand with Rhaenyra, but he had even less of a chance than his higher in status brother. Those small council meetings with King Viserys and Tyland must have been awkward. The Lannisters, with Jaime at the head of the family, and twin Tyland deep into court's politics, are the Hightowers' biggest allies, before the events of House of the Dragon. They want to be the Sea Snake that badly. Unlike the Starks, the Lannisters will be heavily involved in the prequel, just not the main antagonists anymore. Since I'm damn sure we won't be going into the aftermath of the Civil War, I think it's worth mentioning, years after all the battles would have been concluded, it would be Lord Jason's wife, Lady Joanna, to come in and try to help rebuild King's Landing. With dragon riders going at it against each other in populated areas, the Lannister gold was needed, but it's still the Lannisters we're talking about. Everything comes at a cost. This wasn't a handout, just a loan. They have to trust everyone else also pays back their debts.